My village people. My village people.
Food for thought, vote values, part 3. Now someone may ask, why food for thought? The reality is, we are gradually getting overwhelmed with the plague of thoughtlessness in our nation, in our generation. One of our close staff observed the other day that things we should think about in this nation are quickly turned into jokes, jesting. No action is taken, and the subject matter gets quickly forgotten and permanently swept aside. On the other hand, things that deserve no thought at all, that should be considered as frivolous and mischievous jokes from at times people of questionable sanity, are turned into subjects of discussion and distraction from core objectives at hand. Serious things are treated as jokes, and jokes are treated as serious things. It is the plague of thoughtlessness and disfocus that has bedeviled our land for a long time. But the fact is, there is a link between thought and result. Thought determines result. Quality of thought determines quality of result. If we must have quality results, we must think qualitative thoughts. The reason why we have not experienced much of qualitative results as a nation is because we have not embraced qualitative thinking as a people. Our mentality determines our destiny. Our mindset determines our outcome. If we don't think, we sink. Until we activate our brain, we do not actualize our gains. To change our season, we must change how we reason. Something to think seriously about today is the level of disvalue, disregard, and disrespect the political class have for the people of Nigeria. We have to think about it. When the two major political parties in the nation made their choices of presidential and vice presidential candidates known, their lack of value, lack of regard, lack of respect for the Nigerian people was affirmed. The extent to which the interest, the yearnings, and the aspirations and welfare of the people didn't matter to them was validated. The degree to which the people of the nation have been taken for a ride, taken for granted by the political class, was authenticated. Their insensitivity, inconsideration, indifference, apathy, thoughtlessness, and imperviousness to the needs, the feelings, and the emotions of the Nigerian people was corroborated. It was made crystal clear. Why? One of the big two political parties in Nigeria chose a Muslim northerner as presidential candidate, despite the fact that the current president is of the same religion, an ethnic group with the same. Even the common principle of fairness, justice, and equity instructs that if the presidency has been in the grip of a region and religion for as long as 8 years, the most reasonable thing is for it to shift to the southern region and Christian religion for the sake of balance and inclusivity. Now, the meaning of coming under another presidency from the same region, the same religion, the same ethnicity as the current one is, after 8 years of rampaging and ravaging banditry, kidnapping, and herdsmen devastation of indigenous communities under the watch of the current leader, then we step into another 4 or 8 years of continuing destruction and devastation from wherever it stops in the current administration, God forbid. And our observation shows that these leaders have no word of condemnation or correction whatsoever for the dastardly acts of their people. Another 4 years or 8 years under a leader of the same kind as the current one will only embolden the killers to further their nefarious activities, saturating the land with blood. God forbid. The other of the two big political parties chose a Muslim presidential candidate and a Muslim vice presidential candidate. Can you see how much they have taken us for granted? In a multi-ethnic, multilingual, multicultural, multi-religious state as Nigeria. The fact is there are 36 states in Nigeria with 36 governors, 36 deputy governors. Out of 36 governors, 19 are Christians. That is 53%, more than half. Out of 36 deputy governors, 21 are Christians. That is 58%. Beyond that, of the 6 geopolitical regions in Nigeria, there is an extremely massive Christian population in the South-South, Southeast, Southwest, North Central. That is already 4/6. Even in the Northeast, in Taraba, Adamawa, Gombe, etc., Christians are found in their numbers. Even in the Northwest, in Southern Kaduna, in Kebbi, etc. These facts do not in any way speak of Christianity as a minority religion in this nation. Not at all. In fact, Christianity is far, very far from being a minority religion in Nigeria. People will actually be shocked when a true and realistic census is done in this nation. Yet, Christianity is despised to the point where not one person could be found to be the running mate to a Muslim presidential candidate, despite such a very massive Christian population in Nigeria. Yet, Christianity has been the victim of relentless attacks on churches and communities. We have witnessed, especially in this administration, highly lopsided, nepotistic, ethnocentric, religiocentric appointments in all realms. The armed forces, the judiciary, the executive, the legislature, the civil service, all lopsided appointments despite overwhelming Christian population in Nigeria. And now they want to place Muslim president and vice president on top of all of that, despite the fact that a Muslim president has literally ruled and ruined the country for almost 80 years now. And people are expected to watch on in cowardice and timidity. That will not happen. The conclusion is the two big political parties, as well as the leaders of our land, have shown us no value, no respect, no regard for the people of the nation. They are solely driven by personal interests and at times religious and ethnic interests. We are therefore left with no option than to totally reject the action of the two political parties for insulting our collective sensibility, undermining our human dignity, and desecrating our worth and value as a people. Only one credible, reasonable, sensible choice is left. Only one. Only one credible, reasonable, sensible choice is left. And you know, do you know? You know. Vote value, vote principles, vote character, vote capacity, vote fairness, vote justice, vote equity. Stand up on your feet.